What do you get when you mix jobs, trivia, and a pair of podcast hosts ready for a challenge? That's right, it's game time. Get ready to join the fun on this episode of Career Chats with Katie and Robin.
Hey, Robin.
Hey, Katie.
Do you want to play a game today?
I always want to play a game.
Okay, I found 5 jobs that do not require any college, not even an associate's degree, and I want you to guess the salary of those jobs today.
Ooh, I like this. All right.
Okay, so just for our listeners, reminder that we have show notes and all links to these jobs. All of those will be posted on our show notes page for today's episode. Our first job, Robin, is a postal service worker.
Okay.
So, postal service workers sell postal products and collect, sort, and deliver mail. Then there are also postal service clerks and mail sorters, processors, and processing machine operators. So those people typically work indoors and typically in the post office, while the mail carriers mostly work outdoors delivering the mail.
Okay.
So there's a variety of jobs here for you to think about when you come up with the average. Most postal service workers have a high school diploma. All applicants for these jobs must pass a written exam. However, employment of postal service workers is on the decline of 6%. So not too bad, but it is declining. And I think that's all I'm giving you.
Okay. There's quite a range here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say $40,000 to $50,000 a year.
Okay, that's a pretty good guess. So the median average for pay in 2021 was $51,307, and I found actually a more recent one on a different website, and that was May 2022, and it did go up a little bit, $54,250.
No.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No.
But they do say there's a range from about $39,000 to $71,000 because overtime can be available.
Sure. Well, I imagine you put in your dues, stay in the job for a while, and you're going to see some increase. And yeah, that's not bad.
It's not too bad. And I think during holiday times, overtime really is probably very prevalent, especially for the people delivering the mail.
Sure.
Are you ready for the next job?
Let's do it.
Okay. This is a pest control worker.
Okay.
Pest control workers remove insects, rodents, and other pests that infect buildings and surrounding areas. Pest control workers will often need to kneel, bend, and crawl in tight spaces to inspect sites. Because there are health risks associated with pesticide use, workers are trained in pesticide safety and typically wear protective gear, which may include gloves, goggles, and respirators. Pest control workers need a high school diploma and receive on-the-job training. State laws will often require pest control workers to also be licensed. This job outlook is projected to grow by 7%, which is within the average growth rate.
More bugs.
Yes.
I don't know that I like that this one's growing, Katie. Okay, these are the unsung heroes because I don't like them buggies in my house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 60,000.
Okay, and I would have thought the same. I thought this one was going to be higher. The median pay in 2021 was $37,540.
No, they're not getting paid enough.
Not at all.
We need this service. They deserve a living wage.
Yeah, I was really surprised by this one, so that's why I included it.
Yeah. Okay. We need to fight for the pest control
workers.
people.
Okay. Next one are construction and building inspectors.
Okay.
So construction and building inspectors ensure that construction meets building codes and ordinances, zoning regulations, and contract specifications. Construction and building inspectors examine work sites, both alone and as part of a team. Some inspectors climb ladders or crawl in tight spaces. Construction and building inspectors usually will need a high school diploma and work experience in a construction trade to enter this occupation. They'll typically earn on-the-job training to obtain competency, and many states and even local like municipalities will require some type of license. So even if like the state didn't have a license, like the local, you might need to have a license, if that makes sense, like county regulations.
Sure.
The job outlook is on a slight decline of 4%, which I'm actually surprised about because I feel like everywhere I've moved to has just been growing and building. So I thought that one was actually going to be average or increasing, but it says a slight decline. Take your guess.
I feel like I should know this. We hired an inspector not that long ago when we were moving into our house. I'm going to say around $65,000 a year.
You're very, very close. The median pay in 2021 was $61,640.
Oh, well, I feel like with inflation over the last few years, I'm right on the money. I'm just giving myself that one.
I agree. Ding, ding, ding. I would agree. Okay, this next one I'm really excited to talk about. They are elevator and escalator installers and repairers.
Okay.
Have you ever met one in your life?
No.
Me neither. So I'm super pumped.
Again, another very important job. I want to make sure those elevators are up to snuff when I step foot in them.
Exactly. I would like to not plummet to the bottom of the floor.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay. So elevator and escalator installers and repairers install, maintain, and fix elevators, escalators, and moving walkways and other lifts. Elevator and escalator installers and repairers often work in cramped areas inside crawl spaces and machine rooms, and they may work at heights in elevator shafts. So there's kind of like some danger to this. Repairers may be on call 24 hours a day and may need to work overtime. Elevator and escalator installers and repairers typically need a high school diploma or equivalent. Nearly all learn how to do the work through an apprenticeship. I thought that was interesting. Most states will require workers to be licensed. This job outlook is growing at a 3% incline. So it's a little slower than the average of 5%, but it's still growing. Take your guess.
Ooh. Again, it's one of those jobs that I feel like is vital to our society, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're paid well. Look at teachers. Let's go for 60,000.
Okay, you're going to be surprised, and I love this for them. 97,680
Yes!
was the average.
I was hoping it would be high, but I just didn't want to be like disappointed for them.
Right.
That makes me happy. That's good.
Now my follow-up question is how do you find apprenticeships that are this specific?
My husband, Tom, is always saying that we should be doing apprenticeships. And we need more of that back in our world because I just think it's such a vital way to learn. And yet it's sort of fallen by the wayside, at least in the public persona. We don't hear about it that often.
Exactly. All right. I have a fifth and final one for you today.
All right. I'm ready.
Okay. I feel like we've probably both used one of these in our lives. This is a travel agent. A travel agent will sell transportation, lodging, and entertainment activities to individuals and groups planning trips. They will typically spend much of their day sitting, working on the phone, on the computer. Most travel agents will work for travel agencies, but many are self-employed. A high school diploma is typically required for somebody to become a travel agent. However, employers may prefer to hire candidates who also have some sales experience or like a relevant certification in that area. Good communication and customer service skills are essential for this. The job outlook on this one was surprising for me, especially since we're still recovering from pandemic vibes. It is growing by 20%.
What?
20%!
I was going to say this has to be in decline because who uses travel agents anymore? But apparently lots of people do. I
was really surprised. So it's growing by 20%. It's in demand. You don't need a college education. What do you think the wage is?
I used a travel agent once, but I was a senior in high school and it was like our friend's mom who set up this friend's trip for us. And they lived in a nice house, but I don't know what his dad did, if it was a 2-income house or what. Again, this is surprising to me because I would have thought with the online booking and Costco travel, all these things, that it would have been a declining industry. So I don't know. I'm going to say 80,000.
Okay, it's actually about half of that. The median annual wage in 2021 was $43,810.
Oh,
I know. So it's not the best average, but it's certainly, depending on where you live,
right.
that would still be a very good income, really depending on where you live.
Well, I'm curious how much of it is full time, or is there a lot of people who do this part time?
Yeah, I would feel like many of the self-employed might be more part-time and maybe more if you work for a travel agency, maybe full-time. This is just me guessing though. But I know when we used like a Disney travel agent, that was just like her fun job because then they got like points or dollars, however it works through Disney for them to then go.
Yeah.
And she had a full-time job in addition to that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So that was fun.
That was fun.
And you did pretty well.
Well, when it comes to money,
We hope you enjoyed learning about these 5 jobs that don't require a college degree. And as we said before, the links to these careers will be in our show notes. Thanks for listening.
Career Chats is hosted by Katie Huddleston and Robin Coney. Show notes and guest info can be found on our website, careerchats.show. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love you to subscribe and share this podcast with your friends. Until next time, stay curious.